They turned my family's 120-acre Texas farm into a gated community. I waited 2 years and took everything back. The full story. My name is Riley Harper. I'm 52 years old, a high school history teacher in Austin, Texas. I drive a rusty 2012 F-150 with cracked leather seats and a tape deck that still plays my dad's old Willie Nelson cassettes. I'm divorced, have a 19-year-old daughter at UT, and a 16-year-old son still at home. Nothing about me screams millionaire, but for the last 4 years, I've quietly owned something worth over $40 million, 120 acres of prime Texas hill country that my family has held since 1948. My great-grandfather, Captain Elias Harper, bought the land right after coming home from the Pacific. He paid $12 an acre, $1,440 total, with money he saved from the war and a small VA loan. He'd told my grandpa it was the prettiest piece of God's earth he'd ever seen. Rolling hills, ancient live oaks, pecan groves older than the state itself, and a spring-fed creek that ran clear even in drought years. That land fed 4 generations. Cotton in the early days, then cattle, then pecans when the market shifted. My dad, Thomas Harper, was born in the original 1890s farmhouse still standing in the middle of the property. He worked it every weekend, even after taking a job at the power plant to pay bills. When cancer took him in 2021, he was 78 and still driving the same 1985 Chevy truck. In the hospital 3 days before he passed, he grabbed my hand with what strength he had left. Riley, that land is our name. It's who we are. Promise me you won't ever sell it cheap to some developer who'll pave it over. I promised. I kept the ag exemption by leasing grazing rights to a neighbor for $1 a year. Property taxes stayed low, $2,800 annually, paid every January without fail. Life got busy teaching 5 periods of U.S. history coaching, JV soccer, helping my sister with mom's Alzheimer's. I hadn't driven out to the farm in almost 2 years. June 15, 2023. School was out for summer. I loaded the truck with a chainsaw and work gloves, planning to clear some cedar and check the pecan trees. I turned off County Road 1822 onto our old Kalishi Drive, the one Dad had graded himself every spring. And my heart stopped. The cotton fields were gone. The oaks were gone. The creek had been dammed into a retention pond with a fountain. In their place stood 78 brand-new craftsman homes. Stone accents, metal roofs, 3-car garages, perfect sod lawns. A half-finished clubhouse with a pool, construction trailers everywhere, a huge carved limestone sign at the new paved entrance. Harper Ridge Estates, an exclusive Whitfield community. They'd used our family name. I sat in my truck for 10 minutes staring. Then I drove up to the gate. A young security guard in a golf cart waved me off. "Sorry, sir, residents and approved vendors only." I rolled down the window. "This is private property." "My property?" He looked at my dusty truck and laughed. "Sure it is. Move along before I call the sheriff." Before I could respond, a pearl-white Cadillac Escalade pulled up behind him. Out stepped Lauren Whitfield. She was early 50s blonde highlights designer yoga outfit that probably cost more than my truck payment oversized sunglasses. She moved like she owned the air around her. "Everything okay, Travis?" she asked the guard, not looking at me. "This gentleman claims he owns the entire neighborhood." Lauren turned. Her eyes swept over me. Faded Longhorns cap, work boots, 2 days of stubble, and I watched her mentally sort me into the not worth my time category. "How charming," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "If you're here about the landscaping crew, we're fully staffed. But I can take your number if there's an opening." I pulled out my phone, showed her the county tax portal open to parcel 447891002. Owner Riley Elias Harper. Taxes paid current. This has been in my family since 1948. My great-grandfather bought it. My father died on it well in the hospital, but you get it. This is Harper land. Her smile froze. She pulled out her own phone, scrolled with perfectly manicured nails. Our title company did a comprehensive search. The land was non-producing and essentially abandoned. Texas prescriptive easement law is very clear: 10 years of open, continuous, hostile use. We've been running cattle here since 2019. I knew that was a lie. The only cattle on that land were old Mr. Ramirez's, and he leased from me. Lauren continued, voice syrupy sweet. "We've pre-sold 72 of the 78 homes, $42 million in contracts. Young families, doctors, tech people moving from California. They close starting next month. This is a legitimate, fully permitted development through Williamson County. She leaned closer, lowered her voice. I'm sure you have memories here. But memories don't pay property taxes on undeveloped land forever. It's time to let progress happen. Then she did something that made my skin crawl. She walked around my truck and photographed my license plate. Just for security purposes. We have 24-hour cameras. Wouldn't want any misunderstandings. She handed me a business card. Garrett Whitfield, CEO, Whitfield Luxury Communities. My husband will be happy to discuss a goodwill gesture if you sign a quitclaim. We're reasonable people. I drove home with my hands shaking on the wheel. That night I pulled out Dad's fireproof box from the closet. Inside, the original 1948 deed on thick parchment survey plats from 1952, every tax receipt in chronological order, handwritten notes on timber sales, fence repairs, even a 1978 letter from the county confirming egg exemption. The box smelled like cedar and old paper and Dad. I called the tax office Monday morning. Confirmed never delinquent, paid on time every year since 1948. 2 days later, certified mail from Garrett Whitfield's attorney, $75,000 offer to resolve any lingering confusion in exchange for a quitclaim deed. I tore it up. I needed a lawyer who ate developers for breakfast. A colleague's husband recommended Sarah Morales out of San Antonio. She'd taken down a pipeline company trying to eminent domain ranch land and made them pay triple. I drove down for the consultation. Sarah's office smelled like strong coffee and old leather-bound law books. She was late 50s, sharp eyes, no nonsense. I laid out the documents. She flipped through the tax receipts, paused at the 1948 deed, then looked up. Prescriptive easement in Texas requires 10 years adverse possession payment of taxes by the claimant and a good faith belief. They've got none of that. You've paid taxes continuously. This is fraud. I asked if we could get an injunction to stop construction. Sarah leaned back. We could, but here's what I'd do instead, and you're going to think I'm crazy. Let them finish. She explained, stop them now and they declare bankruptcy, leaving me fighting 78 innocent buyers. Bank's title insurance. A decade of litigation. But if I wait until every house is built, every family moved in, then file for quiet title and fraud. I own 78 completed homes worth $42 million. They'll be desperate to settle because the alternative is criminal charges. It's cold, she said, but it's smart. Surprise is everything in these cases. I thought of Dad's last words. I hired her that day. For the next 18 months, I became a ghost. I drove out once or twice a month, parked on the county road, took time-stamped photos and videos from public right-of-way. Watched framing go up, drywall, roofing, landscaping. Watched families move in with U-Hauls and kids' bikes. Watched the clubhouse finish with a resort-style pool. Every visit hurt. That was my creek they turned into a fountain. Those were my pecans they bulldozed for Lot 47. Lauren spotted me in October 2023. Next week, a Williamson County deputy pulled me over 2 miles from the property. Mrs. Whitfield says you've been circling the neighborhood taking pictures of children. Residents are concerned. I showed him my phone gallery, all wide shots of construction progress, no people close up. He looked embarrassed. Just stay off private roads, sir. Then the real harassment began. Escalation 1, November 2023. Anonymous letter to the school district claiming I'd been disciplined for inappropriate conduct with students years ago. Principal called me in. I showed 20 years of clean evaluations. Investigation closed, but rumors lingered. Escalation 2, January 2024. A Facebook group, Harper Ridge Estates Safety Watch, admin Lauren Whitfield, posted my photo from the gate camera, known trespasser making false ownership claims. Has been seen photographing homes and children. Report any sightings to Travis at the gate. Within days, 200 members, hundreds of comments calling me everything from con man to predator. My daughter Ava saw it at college and called crying. Escalation 3, March 2024. Someone slashed all 4 tires on my truck in the school parking lot. Twice in 1 month. No cameras caught it. Escalation 4, June 2024. My sister Claire got a call from a private investigator asking about family history of mental illness or property disputes. Same PI visited my ex-wife. Escalation 5, September 2024. Fake brush pile complaints to county code enforcement. Inspector found nothing, but sent me a warning anyway due to resident concerns. Escalation 6, December 2024. Someone created fake Yelp and Google reviews for the high school, claiming I was unstable and potentially dangerous. District HR Meeting Number 2, Escalation 7, February 2025. The worst, a break-in at my house while I was at a soccer game with my son. Nothing stolen but a single printed sheet left on my kitchen table. Drop your fantasy claim or lose everything you actually have left. I filed a police report. Deputy said no prints, no forced entry. Probably someone you know. I knew exactly who. But every threat, every post, every complaint was evidence. Sarah collected it all. Meanwhile, she dug into the Whitfields. Garrett and Lauren had done this exact playbook 3 times before in Central Texas. Find rural land with elderly or absentee owners, graze a few cattle to claim open use. File a weak prescriptive easement affidavit, get fast-track permits by donating to county officials, build and sell before anyone fights back. 2 prior victims settled for under $200K. 1 lost because they couldn't prove continuous ownership. But the Harpers keep receipts. The breakthrough came from Martin Delgado, a former Whitfield superintendent who'd been stiffed on $180K in invoices. He leaked a 2021 email chain. From Garrett Whitfield to Lauren Whitfield. Subject Harper parcel, update title. Attorney confirms Harper taxes are current and owner is alive/inherited 2021. Prescriptive claim is shaky at best, but if we start grazing immediately, file the affidavit and break ground within 12 months, we can create facts on the ground. Most heirs fold when they see finished houses and families living there. Title insurance eats the loss. Same as Blanco Ranch and Georgetown Oaks. Projected gross 48 mullers. Risk acceptable. Sarah called me the day she got it. This is our nuclear option. We filed in March 2025. The Whitfields offered $500K to drop, then $1.2 million, then $2.8 million. We said no. Trial was set for October 2025. They went nuclear too. Local news picked up the Facebook smears. A Williamson County mom blog ran a story. Teacher claims ownership of new luxury neighborhood. Residents fear for safety. My principal put me on paid leave pending resolution. My son Ethan stopped telling friends where we lived. But the tide turned when Sarah leaked the emails anonymously to a reporter at the Austin American-Statesman. The story exploded. Developer couple accused of land theft pattern across Central Texas. Channel 12 sent a crew to my house. I told them about Dad's last words, showed the 1948 deed, the tax receipts, the leaked emails. The piece ended with aerial footage of the neighborhood superimposed over 1950s photos of the farm. It went viral. 4 million views in a week. Homeowners started calling me, not angry, but scared. One woman, Maria Alvarez, cried on the phone, "We sold our house in California for this. If you win, do we lose everything?" I told her the truth. I'm not after your homes. I'm after the people who stole from both of us. Trial day arrived. The courtroom was packed, homeowners, reporters, even Martin Delgado in the gallery. Sarah's opening statement was fire. This isn't a misunderstanding. This is calculated theft dressed up in LLCs and campaign donations. We entered the emails, 77 years of tax receipts. My documentation logs, Martin's testimony, prior victims' affidavits. Garrett took the stand. Sarah tore him apart in cross-examination. He contradicted himself 6 times, sweat through his $3,000 suit. Lauren refused to testify. Fifth Amendment. Judge ruled from the bench. Full title, restored to me $12 million in compensatory and punitive damages, attorney fees, and immediate referral to the Texas Attorney General and FBI for criminal fraud investigation. But I didn't evict anyone. In November 2025, I held a town hall in the finished clubhouse. All 78 families came. Maria Alvarez stood in front with her 2 kids. An elderly couple, the Nguyen's, looked terrified in the back. I stood at the podium with Sarah beside me. I know you're afraid I started. You bought these homes in good faith. You did nothing wrong. I'm not here to take your houses. The room was silent. Here's my proposal. I'm forming the Harper Ridge Community Land Trust. Every family keeps their home at the exact price you paid. No profit for me. The Whitfield's assets and insurance will cover any shortfall. Your monthly dues will maintain roads, the pool, and fund college scholarships for kids in this neighborhood, named after my father, Thomas Harper. Maria started crying. Then half the room. Someone in the back started clapping, and soon the whole clubhouse was on its feet. The Whitfields bankrupt within months. Garrett took a plea. 5 years probation, $2 million restitution lifetime ban from real estate development. Lauren lost everything, the Escalade, the Lake Travis mansion, even her social club memberships. Last I heard, she's selling essential oils online. I kept 20 acres with the original farmhouse, the best pecan grove, and the creek. Spent a year restoring the house. New roof, fresh paint, but kept the old pine floors Dad walked barefoot on. I moved in last month. Wake up to birdsong and the smell of coffee brewing on the same stove my great-grandmother used. Ethan spends weekends helping me plant new pecans. Ava brings her friends from college. Even my ex-wife came by once and said, "Your dad would be proud." The first Thomas Harper scholarship went to Maria Alvarez's daughter. Full ride to UT. Sometimes I walk the creek at sunset and think about Dad's promise. He was right. That land is our name. But now it's more than that. It's 78 families sleeping safely in homes they can truly call their own. It's a scholarship kid who'll never know how close her parents came to losing everything. It's proof that if you keep your receipts, stay patient, and refuse to let the bastards win. Sometimes history teachers make history. So tell me, have you ever fought an HOA or developer who thought money could erase your family's legacy? Drop your story below. Let's keep sharing these wins. And subscribe, because next time I've got the story of the Karen who tried to poison a veteran service dog and learned the hard way that some lines you don't cross. Keep your receipts, y'all.